Imagine driving your Bronco when a warning suddenly appears on the dashboard. A few seconds later, you smell something burning. Then smoke begins coming through the air vents. And according to Ford's own investigation, what may happen next is flames appearing from the passenger side of the engine bay. This is the reason Ford has recalled more than 500,000 Broncos, but the total number is not the most surprising part of this story. The strange part is which version of the Bronco appears unusually vulnerable, and what Ford discovered after inspecting more than 80 vehicles. And while this massive recall can reportedly be repaired using additional protective covering, a second, much smaller Bronco recall has a far more serious solution. Ford has to replace the engine. We'll come back to that one because the component responsible is small enough to fit in your hand. The main campaign is Ford Recall 26S55, listed by the NHTSA as 26V468. It covers more than 500,000 full-size Ford Broncos from the 2001 through 2026 model years, including the Bronco Raptor. This is not the smaller Bronco Sport. The recalled vehicles were produced from September 2020 through June 2026, meaning this problem stretches across almost the entire production run of the current generation Bronco. Ford estimates that approximately 1% of the recalled vehicles actually contain the defect. At first, 1% might not sound alarming, but 1% of more than 565,000 vehicles still represents thousands of Broncos. More importantly, Ford cannot simply identify the problem by looking at the model year, trim level, or engine choice. The affected vehicles were not produced in consecutive VIN order. That means two nearly identical Broncos built around the same time could receive different recall results. And the reason Ford is recalling such a large population comes down to a part that owners will normally never see. But what is actually happening under the hood? Running through the Bronco's engine compartment is a large wiring harness. Think of it as the vehicle's electrical nervous system. It carries power and information between sensors, control modules, actuators, and other components throughout the engine bay. That harness is supposed to remain protected and safely separated from anything that could damage it. But engine moves, vehicles vibrate, components shift slightly as the Bronco accelerates, brakes, corners, and travels over the rough ground. Ford determined that relative movement between the wiring harness and nearby components can cause the harness covering to rub, not once or twice, but repeatedly, potentially over thousands of miles. Eventually, the rubbing can wear through the protective outer material. Once the wiring inside becomes exposed, an intermittent short circuit can produce electrical arcing. That arc creates concentrated heat and sparks inside an engine bay compartment containing plastic, insulation, and other materials that can burn. This is why the first symptom may not be a completely dead vehicle. The damaged wiring could make occasional contact, create a warning, and then appear to work normally again when the harness moves. But Ford's investigation uncovered something even more unusual when it compared regular Broncos with Bronco Raptors. Ford identified 15 potential fire incidents connected to this wiring harness condition. 7 involved Bronco Raptors, 8 involved regular Broncos. Those numbers appear almost equal, but the number of Raptors on the road is far smaller than the number of standard Broncos. That immediately raised an important question. Why did the Raptor represent nearly half of the suspected incidents? Ford examined the differences between the two vehicles, including their physical architecture, suspension characteristics, and the environment underneath the hood. The Bronco Raptor is built to handle aggressive off-road use with greater suspension travel and differential chassis behavior from a standard Bronco. Ford testing concluded that the wiring harness in the Raptor is more likely to experience the relative movement that produces chafing contact. That does not mean that regular Broncos are safe. Ford also performed vibration testing on base Bronco models and found enough wear to indicate that the internal wiring could eventually become exposed. In other words, the Raptor may create the problem more easily, but the basic conditions can exist across the wider Bronco range. Ford inspected more than 80 Broncos during the investigation. Only a small number showed evidence of rubbing rubbing or chafing on the harness covering. That sounds reassuring until you remembered what can happen if the covering wears completely through. The thing is that the warning signs may appear very late. Ford says a driver must first notice a warning message in the instrument cluster. Smoke may then begin entering the cabin through the air vents. Flames could eventually become visible from the passenger side of the engine compartment. That sequence matters because it suggests the warning could arrive shortly before the situation becomes much more serious. As of Ford's recall filing, the company had identified 15 incidents in which it had evidence that the fire may have originated from the engine compartment wiring harness. Those incidents occurred between October 2024 and June 2026. Ford reported no known crashes or injuries related to the condition. The filing also does not include a blanket instruction telling every affected owner to stop driving or park outside, but that should not be interpreted as a permission to ignore smoke, burning smells, or unusual electric warnings. If smoke begins entering the cabin, first safely pull over, turn off the engine, move everyone away from the vehicle, and call emergency services. If flames are already visible, do not stand over the hood and open it. Lifting the hood can introduce additional oxygen and cause the fire to intensify, but here's where the situation becomes confusing for some owners. As the recall appeared publicly, Bronco owners began comparing results across NHTSA, Carfax, and Ford's own app. In one active Bronco 6G discussion, an owner reported seeing the recall through Carfax and NHTSA, while the Ford app still showed no open recall. That does not necessarily mean the Ford system was incorrect. Large recalls can take time to populate across every platform, but it shows why relying on only one app may not be enough during the first days of new campaign. Owners should enter the complete 17-digit VIN into the official NHTSA or Ford recall lookup and contact the dealer if the information appears inconsistent. And despite how serious the potential result sounds, the official repair is surprisingly simple. Ford dealers will add convoluted protective sheeting and abrasion-resistant tape around the affected engine compartment wiring harness. The goal is to prevent contact from wearing through the covering and exposing the circuits inside. The repair will be completed free of charge. This may sound like Ford is fixing a possible engine fire with plastic tubing and tape. Technically, that is close to what is happening, but the type of material, its placement, and the way the harness is secured matter. A proper abrasion-resistant sleeve can survive repeated movement that would eventually cut through ordinary insulation. Owners may be tempted to inspect the harness themselves or add protection at home, but Ford's public recall filing does not clearly identify the exact contact point, and a do-it-yourself repair will not officially close the campaign. The dealer still needs to perform and document the approved remedy. Now, if this were the only Broncos recall involved, the story would end with a protected wiring harness and a trip to the dealership, but the second campaign is where this becomes an engine story. This is the smaller recall with the much bigger repair. Ford Recall 26S35 covers only approximately 1,500 vehicles in total. That population includes certain 2025 and 26 Ford Broncos, Rangers, and Explorers fitted with the 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine. Only 408 Broncos are included, so this is nowhere near the size of the wiring harness campaign, but Ford estimates that 100% of the carefully identified vehicles contain the assembly defect, and the repair is not a protective tape. It is a replacement engine long block. The problem involves valvetrain component called a roller finger follower. This small component transfers movement from the camshaft to the engine valve, helping the valve open and close at precisely the correct moment. During engine assembly, one or more followers may have been knocked out of their intended position. Ford discovered the issues after an engine with a dislodged follower was found during production audit testing. A warranty claim involving engine noise was later traced to a similar condition. To identify the affected engines, investigators reviewed production records and even examined historical camera images from the engine assembly line. that allowed Ford to narrow the recall to specific engines instead of recalling every 2.3-liter EcoBoost produced during that period. And you may be asking what exactly happens if the follower is out of position. An incorrectly installed roller finger follower can prevent the valve train from operating normally. The owner may hear ticking or tapping from the engine. The check engine light may illuminate. Ford's report also mentions the possibility of a low-volume engine leak while the vehicle is running. In the worst case, the engine can fail, refuse to start, or lose power while the vehicle is moving. Ford was aware of 12 reports connected to the condition where the recall was filled, but no related crashes, injuries, or fires. Because damage may already exist inside the engine or may develop later, Ford is not simply opening the valve cover and repositioning the small component. Affected vehicles will receive a replacement long block. A long block includes the core of the engine, cylinder block, rotating assembly, and the cylinder head. So owners of these 408 Broncos are not being called in for a minor adjustment. They are potentially receiving most of a new engine. And this is why every Bronco owner should check both recall numbers, even if the first search results only show one of them. If you are the owner, do not assume your vehicle is safe or affected based only on its model year. Use the VIN. If your Bronco is included in the wiring recall, arrange the free dealer repair and pay attention to burning smells, electrical warnings, smoke from the vents, visible damage inside the engine bay. And if your 2.3-liter Bronco is included in the engine recall, take any of the following seriously: new ticking or tapping, check engine light, engine oil leaks, difficulty starting, and sudden loss of power. And do not assume that a warning disappearing means the problem has repaired itself. An electrical wire can stop shorting when the harness moves. And internal engine noise can become quieter as temperature and oil pressure change. Neither means the underlying defect is gone. Most affected Bronco owners will probably never experience a fire or complete engine failure, but recalls are issued because the consequence is serious enough that waiting for every vehicle to fail would be unacceptable. One of these problems begins with repeated movement slowly cutting through a protective covering. The other begins with a valve train component that may have been moved out of position before the engine even left the factory. One repair requires additional protecting around the wire, the other requires replacing the heart of the engine. So before the next road trip or the next off-road trail, check the VIN rather than waiting for smoke, a warning light, or a ticking sound to make the decisions for you.